In this video, we're going to be looking at keyboard key or KBD, depending on however you want to say it here. And what we're going to do is look at the docs and then do some nice little examples there. So let's get to reading the docs. It says the keyboard key component exists to show which key or combination of keys perform a given action. And so this is going to be similar to code in some ways, although visually is slightly different here. It says the action itself should be further explained in accompanying content. It renders a keyboard element. So if you're familiar with HTML and have used this before, cool. If not, you don't have to stop this video and go look up something else. You'll be just fine. So we're bringing this in right here, import KBD from, this source. And then as you can see right here, we have the span, which is keeping it together right here. And then we have the KBD shift, and then we have a plus, which is outside of the KBD component. And then we have the H, so shift H. What is that doing? I don't know. But that could be a, command that you're trying to show for a program. Maybe you have, some cool open source, stuff that someone is using, and shift H is some kind of hotkey. This is one way you could show that in your documentation. Now you're going to want to have a heading, text, something up above to explain, what it is that's going on. But this is just visually, showing you in a small atomic example of how to use the keyboard key component. It says all shortcuts should do their best to match what appears on the user's keyboard. All single letters A to Z are uppercase. For non-letter keys such as enter, escape, and shift, stick to lowercase. And then use the arrow symbol as opposed to spelling things out. So that's nice as well. Not every single, library and guide and documentation will tell you standards or suggestions. Sometimes you have to figure those things out. And in the meantime, if you're selling something or have some open source software, you make it a little bit harder for new users to get on and start using your product, maybe over little things like this. So that's really cool. They give this to you here. We have a modifier. So the only punctuation you should need is the plus to indicate that a combination of keys will activate the shortcut. And so this is really just kind of the same example as we saw up above here. And it says for a sequence of keys where one must follow the other, right then in between, stick to lowercase to match the non-letter keys. So shift, then plus. This is nearly identical to the code above, except we're replacing the plus with the word then right here. And then if you have two options, you could just have or right here, alt or option to do whatever desired effect it is. So yeah, there's no props. You could style this, right? You could put in, whatever else, because these are all boxes at the end of the day. So let's do some coding examples, and then let's get out of here for the day. See you in just a moment. So our first example with the keyboard component here is just going to be very, very, very tiny. So let's get to coding. So we just have some meaningless text right here. We have this KBD at the top. It says sub to my channel. And that's just to show an example of what this would look like as you implement it. I have this break right here. I could have used a box, something else to give some kind of spacing. And now we have Control and H. What's Control and H doing? I have no clue. Maybe you could tell me. But this is how you would use it if you have specific key commands, but you need to interlace them with maybe some kind of just regular text. Maybe you're creating some kind of online ebook or walkthrough or something along those lines. So that's how you would intermix these two. And in the next section, what I'm going to do is go through and just give these things some font size, some different coloring. I'm going to show you how you could kind of pretty this stuff up to make it a little bit more impactful. Alrighty, so now that we're back here, what we're going to do is just delete this example right here, not the box, because we're going to keep it. We're going to delete this, and then we're going to make something that would look like maybe an installation guide although my sense of styling isn't always the best, but we'll type this out together and then we'll talk about it. So as we can see right here, I'm going to create more to this. I'm going to create kind of the whole flow here. But I just wanted to stop and show that we have the box here. We already saw it in the last section, and pretty much all my videos have this padding or this box for padding purposes. And we have this text we're bringing it up here. We have the keyboard or KBD, whatever you want to call it. And you can see that we could just come in and control the font size, which is really cool. And so we can make this pop out a little bit more so it's not eye straining. And we could give it a different background color. And that's kind of cool because maybe sometimes there's alternative commands, gotchas, different types of commands that may convey different types of meaning. So you may, on your own team or just within yourself, have some kind of color coding scheme on how you want to convey what the normal steps are. And then if that fails, maybe what some backup commands you could do to get you moving along. But let's finish this up. And towards the end here, I ended up copying and pasting this command in because it's just too long to type out, let's be honest here. And so let me space these out. So we have different sections up here. We kind of have the main header that's saying, well, I mean, it's not really a header, it's just a large text here, but it's acting as a header. How to install React and Chakra. We have the keyboard command here. So you see, okay, this is the headline, this is the command, wait to download everything. And then this is how you get into your first app there. And one thing I could have done is you could see what's happening is that these do not move to the next line when you have them side by side. And so that was okay. And that was intentional and purposeful here because I want the example to be sitting right next door to this. So if I wanted to, for the example here, maybe for examples, I want to, have a different color. And so I could have this pop out. So I know that these are the commands, and then I could look over to the right and I'm like, oh, okay, so this is an example. Maybe I'm new to this stuff. And then I can install Chakra. And really, this is a pretty cool feature here. And so if you like what I'm doing, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.